As part of our Adventure Rig series, we have never featured another Tacoma. So the reason why we wanted to feature this particular Tacoma is how dialed in it is. There is no wasted space whatsoever in this Tacoma. If you follow along on our adventures, you'll recognize this truck and our friend, Johnny Walker.
Hi, my name is Johnny Walker. This is Chateau Tacoma. It's a 2018 Toyota Tacoma off-road, TDR off-road. I bought the truck in 2019. It was, I'm the second owner. It had 10,000 miles on it when I got it. It was about 6 months old. It's got, right now it has 108,000 miles on it. Probably 50% of those have been off-road. I'm running Wrangler Duratrack 35-inch tires with Icon rims. Originally had an Icon Stage 9 lift kit on it, but has since, only thing still Icon are the shocks and the front control arms. The rest of it's got custom leaves, custom coils. I have Victory 4x4 sliders, bumpers, and Under Armour. It's all Victory 4x4.
Have you upgraded the gearing?
529 gearing. It also has ARB air locker in the front and the electronic Toyota locker in the back. Also, we did the muffler. It's been cut so it no longer hangs down. We redirected the exhaust system on it. Lighting, I have Baja Design side lights, Heretic roof light, Baja Design front bar light too on the bumper. So we've got the Safari snorkel with the Cyclone top on it to keep that sand out of the motor. Prinsu roof rack. We've got the 23-0 shower privacy closure. The tent is a one-off that I imported from China, but it's basically it matches like an iCamper style shell tent. Truck has ARB twin air compressor mounted under the hood, air reel hose mounted under the hood so you can run an air hose out to any of your tires. Top of the tent, 300 watts of solar mounted, and on top of the Prinsu rack here at the very front, there's another 100-watt solar mounted. So 400-watt solar on the roof. The truck has two different two-way radios in it. One works 70 centimeter, 2-meter ham radio, also does GMRS, marine, and race radios, and another radio does CB, 10-meter and 11-meter ham.
What would you say with the amount of solar you have, how long can you take the truck and be off-grid?
Indefinitely.
Wow.
We have not only the 400 watts on the roof, I carry an extra 300 watts of portable panels that you can lay out on the ground, so we can put 700 watts out if there's sun out back into the truck. Also, the truck has a DC 50 amp charger that will put 600 watts in the truck batteries while driving. All those watts go into, we have 400 amp hours of lithium batteries that I custom made to fit in every little nook and cranny that was unused space. I made batteries that fit into them.
That is one of the things that we've been truly impressed with your truck, is that everything is dialed in. Every space is utilized for you and Denise to use while you're on the road. How would you describe why you did that, and what would you recommend for other overlanders who are starting a build?
I don't know how many. I've had a lot of off-road vehicles. This is the second Overland build I've built. And every time, after every trip, we assess what worked, what didn't work, what made things easy, what didn't make things easy, and we adjust. This truck, I think, is pretty dialed right now. If you were starting out, start out simple and then slowly, add things and see what works and doesn't work. Talk to other people who could tell you what works and doesn't work. I try to get things that have more than one use too, because you got very limited space. So, be able to do multiple things with the one item you buy is a big advantage. One of the goals on this truck is to be capable to get me anywhere. And this truck is a very capable truck. It's get you most anywhere you want to go. If I can't get there in this truck, I probably shouldn't be there. But also make it super comfortable when you are at camp. So like right here, this here is a modified gas cap that has a hydraulic hose line quick disconnect. It's been custom made. This runs our propane for the hot water for the shower. So literally you just click into here and you've got hot shower inside the privacy tent. And here is our galley. So we keep dry foods in here, silverware, pots and pans. We run, usually everything's yellow lighting. We can change it to white light but we usually just run yellow light because it keeps the bugs away.
And is this usually stocked and ready to go?
This truck is, other than a few stuff to throw on the refrigerator for whatever meals you're going to do, it's always stocked. It's always ready to roll in a second's notice. Here I got a 110 volt outlet. This is run from a 2200 watt pure sine wave inverter. So wife wants to blow dry her hair or use a straight iron or anything else you want to plug into there. You got plenty of power. I've actually plugged I have a little wire feed welder that I've done welding plugged into there off of. Inside this fender houses water filtration, water pump, and there's a water heater that's inside there as well that'll keep if it gets below 40 degrees, it will kick on to keep the water from freezing on you.
Is this something DIY or?
This is all DIY. Yeah, it's all, like I said, it's tucked up in between the bed and the fender. It's all up inside here, just space that's no longer, that doesn't get used. We put a water pump in there and a filter and a heater in there to keep the water from freezing.
What kind of awning do you have up here?
This is an Alucab 270 awning. I love this awning. Can't recommend it enough. I wish Alucab would add lights to it though, but they don't. But we have lights on here, so all the arms have lights on them that'll either be yellow, that does not attract bugs, or white. One of our extra solar panels is up under here, stored between the Prinsu rack and the snug top.
And how much does that charge up to, that solar panel?
That's a 100 watt one. I have another two more of these that are stored up inside the clamshell of the tent. So back here, we have a custom-made 14-gallon water tank. So water pump pumps from that tank, goes through another filter here before it goes through this. I converted this 25-foot, actually it's a 50-foot reel hose, air hose, that we converted to a water hose. So if we want water on demand, you can reel this out however you want. Turn the water pump on, and you've got water. We have another heater on the tank itself, one on the pump, one on the tank, to keep it if it gets below freezing. These little digital readers here, if it gets below 40, that throws a relay that turns those heaters on.
And what's the coldest temperatures you guys been camping in?
This truck, probably about 20 or low 20s.
And nothing froze?
No, nothing froze.
Awesome.
I also have another heater on the batteries that automatically kicks on if the batteries I built didn't come with internal heaters, so the heaters kick on to heat them.
Well, the big elephant in the room is this microwave.
The microwave, convection oven, air fryer, all in one with a dual burner cooktop, so we could fly it out. We have it's just a little countertop I built. So we're cooking. We got two refrigerators in this truck. This back refrigerator we use for food, so it's just one of the lower end Domestics. And then we have a set power in the back seat that we keep all the drinks in. So you'll see up on the top there is Makita battery chargers. We have two Makita battery chargers that charge. I run Makita chainsaw, Makita vacuum for vacuuming up in the tent or sucking the air out of the air mattresses. We also have all the Makita power tools in the truck. We also see up here I've got 48 volt, two 48 volt chargers. When we run our e-bikes, we can charge them straight from the lithium batteries.
And what about back here for your control panel back here?
That's a Renogy control panel. It just tells me where the batteries are out. You know, if you can see it or not, it says 381 amp hours. So it's 400 amp hours of batteries, but I've actually did a test and run it until the inverter shuts off, because the inverter will shut off and you still do have enough power to run some low voltage stuff, but 381 amp hours is when the inverter shuts off running the microwave. So this is a secondary fuel tank. So one side we have the 14-gallon water tank. We have a matching tank on this other side inside here that's a 13-gallon second fuel tank that can fill up right here. It's tied into the main tank, so there's a switch in the cab that we can transfer from this tank to the other tank. I believe it's stock Tacoma is 21 gallons, so 34 gallons total. And just like I had pump over here, in this fender is the fuel pump. It pumps the fuel from the secondary tank into the main tank. This side we keep all the tools. So we've got recovery gear. Actually, I keep my recovery gear in the cab where I can reach it from my front seat, but I have some extra winch ropes and All the Makita tools, hand tools, air up tools are all kept in here. Well, one thing I definitely recommend is your recovery gear should be, ideally, you could reach it from in your cab, just because if I had kept all the recovery gear right here and I rolled this truck and can't get into here, then you can't pull yourself back over. So I have some accessories in here, but I have my soft shackles, my tree rope, some pulleys, and all in the cab where I can reach them. Even if this truck's rolled over, I can get to them. Over here, I've installed, this is 12-volt outlet with Anderson power poles. So I can hook cord here, have a little table here, and run, whatever you want to run on 12 volts. This is a solar plug, so I can put exterior panels on the ground. I have 2 solar plugs. I have one here, and I have one just like this on the back bumper. It allows you, the reason I have 2 is because I have 2 separate solar controllers that allow you to run different voltage solar panels. Since you can't hook multiple voltage panels together, you're not supposed to. So we have 2 controllers, I can do that. This is shore power, so if I want to recharge the whole system at home, I can plug into any household outlet, and this will pump 600 watts of shore power into the truck. While we're here, the lights on, we put a dimmer on here so you can dim the lights how dim they are for around camp. So in the rear, I did a seat delete. Talk to Goose Gear, and they make a great product, but I didn't want the cutouts like they do running horizontally. I wanted them on each side of the refrigerator. And I also, Goose Gear seat delete is right down here. I wanted it up higher, give me more storage underneath the refrigerator. So I built my own, and so got stuff all stored underneath here. Both sides have a matching opening on the other side. This is the fridge we keep all the drinks in. It's also got a freezer compartment, so we have right now, there's ice cream and ice in the freezer.
So dual zone set power?
Yeah.
We run the same.
And this
fridge.
never turns off. This truck's fridge is running 24/7. It has enough solar, it just keeps up with it. Well, you can see here, we got a very extensive medical kit that's on the back there, easy accessible. There's also a fire extinguisher right here, easily accessible. We put this little roof netting in, just we throw our jackets and everything up there. Here's where I have the recovery gear. This bag here has all the recovery gear, so you can grab it from either driver or passenger can easily grab it. So I have Gaia, I have Onyx, but the one I use and I love way better than both of those is the Locust Maps. Unfortunately, it only works with an Android, but I use it on that Android tablet. I also have an Android phone. That's what I use for navigation 98% of the time. I will pull up Onyx or Garmin once in a while just to look at something differently. But that's what I normally use. And you can see on the dash, I've got my Garmin inReach mounted there. The ham radios, I've got both of them mounted with some magnetic balls that have been epoxied to the cab, to the dash there to hold them. This is mounted, flashlights, always charged, mounted there. Got the binoculars all are mounted in there.
What's your auxiliary panel right there for the lights?
Oh, the Switch Pro. We run it Switch Pro with the 8 switches. That runs my front air locker as well as all the auxiliary lights. And then we put here the transfer switch for the fuel, for the secondary fuel tank. So along with the Switch Pro here, we've got a Blue Sea fuse panel and a Blue Sea circuit breaker. So I flip the circuit breaker, it disconnects everything that was not stock Toyota from the truck. This also disconnects from the lithium batteries in the back. Up inside the grill, there is a 25-foot air hose, reel hose, hooked to the twin Araby air compressor that's in the corner there. So I can pull the reel hose out from underneath, let it go, it reels itself back in to air up or air down. I've got a light here under the hood that allows you to light the engine compartment up at night. We've got rock lights under each wheel well.
What would you classify, Johnny, you and Denise's adventure style?
We like to go to very remote areas where no one else is at, find a great camp, and then the next night we'll be at a different camp. We do a lot of trips where it's over 100 miles, 100 to 300 miles of off-roading with 3-4 nights of camping, each night with a different remote camp where you can't see anybody as far as the eye can see in any direction. That's kind of where we like to go.
And can you just give us a little backstory on how the name Chateau Tacoma came to be?
So I have a mechanic that does work for me on it. I do a lot of the DIY stuff myself, but I also have a mechanic that, like the air lockers he put in it. And anytime this truck would be over at his shop, people would stop by and want to get the tour of it. And he says, oh, you want to see Chateau Tacoma because it has a microwave and it has we didn't talk about it, but in the tent, there's heated mattress pads. So it's got all the creature comforts. So he named it Chateau Tacoma when people wanted to get the walk around.
And where can people follow you along on your adventures? Where can they find Chateau Tacoma and you and Denise?
On your YouTube videos, and Chateau Tacoma on Instagram is where we post pictures.
Thank you so much, Johnny. If there was ever a truck that we would want to trade keys with, it would be this one right here.